to the show. Welcome back to the Alf'Dawg Show. It's time now for my rant portion of the show. I'm Anthony Alfred again. It's great to have you along. We're in HD, ladies and gentlemen. We are on YouTube in HD. It is great to be on HD. Again, earlier, I'd like to again thank my guests, Sam Ivick, Kamisha, and Denasia Flanoy, for all three of them being on the show. They were great guests. But I want to kind of get this rant down, because a lot has been happening in the sports. Okay, T.O. Now, Terrell Owens will be joining Ocho Cinco in Cincinnati. Now, again, you're seeing a trend now in sports, not just in the NBA, but it's kind of crossed over to the pros, where you're seeing star players joining together to possibly win the championship. And now we heard from Michael Jordan, we have heard from Magic Johnson, that back when they were playing, they would have rather beaten the top guys for their championship as opposed to joining up. But obviously, it's a new trend. But the trend has started to be a problem. It's starting to be a problem. It's going to be a problem in the NBA. A problem that baseball is experiencing right now. And hopefully professional football won't be experiencing this. They probably won't, because of how much money they have, all that stuff. But the NBA, you're seeing it now with Miami. You're seeing LeBron, Wade, and Bosh in Miami. You know, that's what really spearheaded this. And next year, you could possibly see, you know, Chris Paul's contract is up. You could possibly see Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul joining Amari Stoudemire in New York. So, spit my gum out there. It's a problem. It's a problem that baseball initially had. Baseball had the problem of, if the Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, okay, don't make it to the World Series, there's a problem. There is a Mets, Dodgers, if they don't make it to the World Series, there's a problem. There's a huge problem. Because that's where all the star players is. Because that's where the money is at. What happened to what made professional football so great? And what for many years made the NBA so great? And that's parity. What happened to parity? And I am very bothered by this. Because, I mean, yes, I am from Cleveland. I'm not so much upset right now that LeBron left. That hurts, but it's not. I'm still gonna wake up in the morning. You know, that's not a big deal. I'm more concerned that this trend is gonna overall hurt the game. Yes, it's gonna be. I'm a root against the Miami Heat every single night, but I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch them play. You know, that's the good thing. What happens if they don't make it to the finals? What happens to the NBA if your NBA finals for next season is the San Antonio Spurs versus the Atlanta Hawks? Will you be watching if that's the finals next year? I don't think so. Now, I'm a hardcore fan, so I'm going to watch. But as a casual fan, you're going to watch. I read something, and just like in baseball, if the World Series in baseball is, and this has happened, even though Tampa Bay's been winning, Tampa Bay has an exciting team. But in terms of television and as far as casual viewers, Tampa Bay right now is about as relevant as the San Antonio Spurs were in the NBA during their dynasty run that lasted almost a decade. If the Yankees were to play in the World Series, doesn't even matter who they face. If the Yankees were to play in the World Series, would the casual fan, which is most of you, would you watch? And probably the answer would be yes. Whether you like the Yankees or not, you're going to watch. They bring the best players because they have the money to do so. But you got teams like Kansas City Royals and the Pittsburgh Pirates who have been struggling for decades and don't even have the chance to be a decent team. Don't even have a chance. Nobody's going to give them an opportunity. You know, and we're heading towards that trend in the NBA as well. But unlike in baseball, this is in the NBA is driven by the players. In baseball, it's driven by ownership and by payroll, by the smartest commissioner in professional sports, Bug Selig. Yet in the NBA, you got players meeting up, doing free agency, like, hey, let's take our talents to South Beach. Or, hey, how about you go to New York and us two will join you in New York next season? Come on, people. You knew the owners can't do anything about it. Anything. We're heading towards a lockout in the NBA because players have too much control. And you've seen it. You know, I want to talk about the Miami Heat for a second. I want to talk about the Heat. Now, I'm not going to try to come across, I'm not going to say, oh, LeBron James, I hope you suck next year. I'm not going to say all that. But, you know, and I'm not going to say, you know, sports fans have been suffering. Cleveland sports has been suffering. No form of sports, as far as winning and losing, means suffering. This means disappointment. It doesn't mean suffering. Suffering is having cancer. Suffering is being in a coma. Suffering is being in a domestic violence relationship and you can't even go out and tell anybody what's wrong, or else you're in trouble. Your life is on the line. That's suffering. This is only a form of entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, that we all, for however many hours a day, 3 hours a day, we set aside everything else. We set aside everything else and we just suspend ourselves to what we see on television or what we see on the field when you go to the games. We all enjoy it. Okay, so let's not tell LeBron James, hey, you know, F you for your life, your personal life. We don't know LeBron James. We don't know these players personally. And it's none of our business to know personally. But what we do as fans is criticize them professionally. And that's what we can do. That's what we can do. So let's stick it to that. You have in Miami 3 guys who all as individuals are very capable and talented players. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh. All talented players. But the idea that you really need a super team to win you a championship has it really got to that point? Well, I've been around sports for a good bit amount of time. Winning a championship is nice. You know, it's the crowning jewel of all of your accomplishments. But what makes a champion is the trials and tribulations that you go through and the challenges that you go through in order to do that, in order to win your championship, in order to do that. And I feel that these guys here is taking the easy way out. LeBron James, even if he does go to Miami and he happens to win multiple championships, I would say 4 championships in Miami would equal to 1 title in Cleveland. 1 title in the city of Cleveland that hasn't seen a championship in 45 years and counting. You know, now we're hearing the stories of how LeBron was immature, how the boys were out, and you know, and his circle, his inner circle, made LeBron James such a bad person. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it, because if you wasn't going to report it back then, don't report that now. I'm calling you out, Cleveland sports media. Don't get all this dirt about LeBron James now that he's gone, that you couldn't dish out while he was here. You know, I'm saying, oh, I know you want to land an interview with LeBron James. You cut the bull. Cut the bull. The media knew what was up with LeBron James, and they covered it up so that he would look good, and they would be able to land interviews with the guy while he was here. So cut the crap. I don't want to see those stories of how he was how immature he acted, how, over the 7 years, everything was fed to him. But can you blame him? Can you blame the guy? Can you blame a coach who kissed his butt? I'm still puzzled over the decision of when the Cavs clinched home court advantage.